been released from prison like 10 years ago. How's that look? Actually, I'll tell you guys about this, or have Kate or who tell you. All right, is that good? I might need to move my chair forward a little bit. That looks so far back, doesn't it?
Yeah.
All right. Take my slippers off. Oh, you know what? I need to bring this forward. Oops. Let's see. Are you still there? Yep. Okay, let's try that.
Are you ready for me to mute?
Yes, you can mute anytime. All right, how's that? Let me get that ball out of the way. Okay, better? All right. Okay, so let's start sitting upright and do a little breathing. Feet on the floor, hands resting wherever's comfortable. Let's just take some nice deep breaths. And you can imagine your breath coming in through the nose, toward the back of your neck, and then down the spine all the way down to the tailbone. That's your inhale. And the exhale, imagine it coming from the front body, from the bottom up, exhaling out. So it creates that cycle, that circle. Inhaling down the back body, through the nostrils, right to the base of the skull, where the base of the skull meets the neck, and inhale like the tube goes all the way down your spine. And then exhaling up the front body. And first, when you do that, there's some tightness involved as you're trying to sort of figure out how to make that work. But as you play with it more and more, see if you can get that to come in a nice, relaxed way. Right, and then we're going to add a little head movement to this. When you exhale up the front body, let your head look down as though you're looking down at your belly. That's your exhale. And then when you inhale into the nose, feel like that inhale, sort of like helium that lifts your head back up. And as you go down the spine, almost like it sort of tickles your spine and it makes you kind of sit up straight. And then when you exhale, you're going to look down toward the spot that initiated the exhale, right at that lower belly. Inhale takes the head back up. Do a couple more like that. Get that inhale down as far down the spine as it'll go. And exhale up the front body. All right, now we're going to take the head side to side. So when you exhale from the belly, you're going to turn your head to one side. Try not to turn the shoulders, just the head. And when you inhale, feel like that's what straightens the head back up to bring you back to neutral. Exhale, go the other way. And we'll do that side to side a few times. All right, last breath, last movement, and square it up so you're even on both sides. And then when you're all done on both sides, rest at neutral. And we'll do the lateral of the head. So again, on the exhale, let the head, like the ear, go toward the shoulder and don't force or push. Inhale back to center, just a little bit over. So if you could think of the top of your head pointing to 12 o'clock, just go to 1 o'clock or 11 o'clock. You remember the old analog clocks. And again, even it up so you're even on both sides. When you're even, just resting at neutral. We're going to do the whole body again. So the exhale, looking down, rounding the spine, and the inhale back up. Get that same breath pattern if that can come in as well. And if not, just breathe however you like and ensure you're not holding the breath. All right, we'll do a little arm movement in with this. Start small, smaller movement. Inhale, a back bend with some arms, maybe palms turning up and winging out away from you. And exhale, bring it back in, a rounded spine. So extra balls to juggle. Spinal movement, arm movement, and the breath. And bonus points if you get that circular breath pattern. Making the arm movement a little larger and larger. All right, we're going to change the forward bend or the exhale movement to be not just not a rounded spine, but folding at the hip hinge. So it'll put a little pressure on the belly. So make sure you're exhaling from the belly. Inhale, be the same, that back bend. You can add the arms as large a movement as you like. And the exhale, fold at the hip hinge. And you can rest elbows to thighs or fold it even further over. Inhale up, arms up as much as you like. Exhale over as deep down as you like. Back and forth, those two movements, another couple times. All right, and then come back to a neutral spine. And we'll drop one arm down and look down. You can add a slight lateral there if you like. That's your exhale movement. Inhale, bring the arm out to the side about shoulder height, eyes following the fingertips. And then exhale, take that hand across the body, tuck toward the opposite shoulder. A little twist there. Inhale, take that hand and arm right back out, eyes following the whole time, the fingertips. Exhale down. Now we'll switch it over to the other side. Drop the other arm down. Look at the fingertips. Exhale. Inhale, the arm comes up. Exhale, cross to the opposite shoulder, eyes following. Inhale back out. And exhale the arm down. All right, so we'll take that again and maybe make the lateral a little bit deeper, dropping that arm down a little bit more. Exhale, inhale, arm up. Exhale, we're going to cross to the opposite hip and move your other hand back behind you. Or stay here for a breath. Inhale all the way back out. Exhale that arm down, drop it down a little lower, or a little more lateral. And then we'll cross over to the other side. Other arm even a little further down than it was before. Inhale up. Crossing to the opposite hip. Slide your other hand back behind. Stay here for a breath. Inhale back out. And exhale that arm down. Even a little lower. And come back up to neutral. We're going to cross to the opposite knee next. Inhale the arm up. Or sorry, let's do the lateral first. Exhale over. Inhaling up. Exhale to the opposite knee. Other hand back behind anywhere. It can be on your chair or up to the chair seat or something back behind you. Stay for a breath. And inhale, unwind, arm back out to the side. And exhale, slow down toward the floor as comfortable, almost like you're trying to pick something up from the floor. And then come back up. I'm gonna do the second side. Drop that arm way down like you're trying to find something on the floor. Inhale up. Exhale to the opposite knee. And other hand back behind, staying for a breath. Inhale back out. And exhale way over. Inhale back up. And just to neutral, sorry. All right, let's come down to the legs and feet. Bringing your, whatever you're gonna be able to slide your feet on the floor, bring those in. And let's start with just one leg at a time, alternating legs. So inhale, one leg out, foot flex, exhale back in, changing sides. Inhale the other leg out and back in, and keep going like that, alternating. Feel free to point the foot if you like. I happen to like to flex better. I always need that calf stretch. But some folks have, especially if you've had old ankle twists and things, the top of the ankles might be tight for you. And that pointing will give you a stretch across the top of the ankle. All right, I think when you're even on both sides, I think this is my last one. Bring it back in and we'll do just one leg and take the spokes out to the side. And feel free to turn your foot out or in to get slight different stretches down that leg, bring in different muscles. Pick one of those spokes to stay on and we'll hold there and take a point and a flex. And let's take the ankle around in a circle a couple of times in each direction. And then hold it in the flex and spread the toes, curl the toes forward and point. Flex the toes and point across the ankle. And then flex the ankle, pull the toes back, and bend and straighten as you come back up toward the top. And we'll do that on the other side. Out on your spokes. Turning your foot out or in as you like. And then pick one of those spokes and hold. And add the pointing flicks there. A couple times, circles. Both directions, a couple times. Hold in the flex. Pull the toes back, spread the toes. Curl the toes forward. Stretch across the top of the ankle, toes toward the floor. Let's lift the toes up. Follow the foot stays down so the top of the ankle is still getting that stretch. And then flex the foot, flex the toes, curl the toes, keep the ankle flexed, spread the toes, and work your way back up to the top. All right. We're going to take one leg out. You don't need the slider on that foot, on either foot actually, and cross the other ankle on top. And then you're going to start to slide that top foot up the shin and turn the knee out. Keep going, and you may need to adjust the bottom leg turn so that your ankle bone and shin bone don't have a little conflict there. And then when you get up to the knee, you're going to keep the knee a little bit bent and see if you can get the foot on the top side of the knee and still the leg turned out. And then go ahead and bend the bottom foot, keeping that leg on top. See if that bottom foot will come in a little bit more. And then we're going to lean forward over our top leg. So this will deepen the stretch in that outer hip there, and inhale up. So you're going to fold forward, exhaling, and inhaling up. Let's do one more. And you may get forward, 1 millimeter or a little bit more. It's for that stretch in the outer hip. All right, and then we'll undo that. You can sort of reverse the way in. And actually, I made a mistake. We do need that bottom foot on a slider. That's easier to slide that foot in. You may have noticed that was a little difficult. Sorry about that. Cross the other ankle on top. So is this my other side? Yeah. Make sure you're on your other side. And start to slide that ankle up the top ankle up the shin, turning the knee out. And as you get up toward the knee, bend the knee a little bit. And that just prevents you from putting too much weight on the knee joint. So keep that knee a little bit bent and see if that foot will come to the top side of the knee. And still the knee turn out, and then bend the bottom leg, sliding that foot in. Keep the top leg turned out. You can adjust things anywhere. Use your hands or your body. You can adjust however you need. And then exhale, we'll lean forward. Inhale back up. And again. And one more time. All right, and then we'll slide the bottom leg out and slide the top leg down. And we're going to repeat that. So put the bottom leg on your slider, cross the top leg, slide the top leg up, bend the knee slightly to get that, when you get that foot to the top side of the knee, and then let that leg turn out. Top leg turn out. All right, the bottom foot, see if you can bring the bottom foot in to where the ankle is roughly right underneath that knee. And then now we're going to bring our hands in front, and you're going to use your elbow to lean on your thigh there, not up by the knee, but down by the hip. Lean on the thigh bone and come forward, exhaling. Inhale back up. Lean on that leg a little bit. You can also pull this foot up slightly, the foot here, I'm holding underneath it, and down. Exhale forward. All right, 3 times, and slide Slide the bottom leg back out. Top leg slides off. Switch it over to the other side. Sliding up. Little bend of the knee as you come to the top side. Slide, then bend the bottom leg even more, sliding that foot in. Roughly, you're working toward getting your foot all the way in underneath the knee. Don't bring it in past that. So it's fine if it's further forward, but don't bring it in further underneath. All right, and then hands to the front, elbow to thigh. Exhale, leaning forward. Inhale up. 2 more. And last one. All right. And we'll slide ourselves out of that. Those hips should feel pretty stretched now, the back side of the hips anyway. Let's get to the front side of the hips by turning sideways. You can be on the corner of the chair or all the way over. I'm going to start on the corner. And we did the spokes toward the front half. If straight ahead is 12, we sort of went on my right leg 12 to 3 o'clock. Now we're going to go 3 to 6. Any of those spokes. And again, your foot can turn out or in. You'll feel that rotators working differently and the accessory muscles down the leg stretching differently for the different ways you might turn your leg. All right, let's see if you can bring that leg in front of the chair and drop it down below the hip socket and even take the knee back behind for stretching down the front of the hip. Quad stretch there. And we'll take a couple of those, warming that up. It might be more like, 5 or 5:30 than 6 o'clock, and that's fine. Stay on the next one. You take the leg back, just stay there. Take a breath or more. And then on an exhale, bend that back leg, bringing it up, and we're going to walk ourselves around to the other side. In the corner. Work. So this is my other leg. So it's 11, and we worked it from noon or midnight to 9, and now we'll go 9 back to 6. Whichever leg you're working, we'll have to adjust that clock imagery side, the side of the clock you're on. And remember to turn the leg out sometimes and in sometimes to get some different stretches down your leg. All right, and then working the quad and the hip flexors in the front of the hip. You're working back towards 6 o'clock, but on this side it might be, what would that be, 6:30 or 7? Any of those are fine. You're still going to get in here. All right, and then, we're going to stay for a breath. And then exhale and bring the legs back in. Come to face forward. Get your sliders in place. We're going to do both legs sliding at once. So you can bring your hands behind and hold on to the chair. And sliders out on the inhale, back in on the exhale. Some of the time you can turn the toes out. And some of the time you can turn the toes in. You feel that gives you different stretches. And you can do it like you're sort of skiing. Slalom down the hill. This can be snow skiing down a hill, or we could, this is water skiing too, I think, yeah? I'm not sure, I've never water skied. All right, and straight out and in. So if you did anything asymmetrical, let's square it up. Both legs doing the same thing. All right, we're going to go back to that side. And if you just did to the corner before, see if you can go a little bit further toward coming around toward the side of your chair. Of course, your chair has to allow that. If you got an arm there, it won't work. All right, and taking that leg back, and we're going to take the heel down. So turning the heel down so your toes point toward the screen and the heel's back, and then heel up and down a couple of times. And then keep the heel down and turn to face forward. Take a breath here. Wait for your next exhale to bend the knee and bring the leg forward. Over on this side, or at that angle if you're there, we'll take a cat-cow and a forward fold over the legs. So inhale up, exhale, fold over the legs. Inhale back up, exhaling over. All right, and then let's go over and do the other side. As far over as comfortable for you, toward the side of the chair. Sitting forward enough so that your leg can drop down on the inside of that, or the front side of that chair, stretching that leg back and forward a couple times, and then keep it back and the heel up and down. So the heel goes away from the screen, toes in toward the screen. And then keep the heel down and hold. Turn your body to facing the front and exhaling over the front knee. Inhale back up. Again. And one more. All right, and then on an exhale, bend the back knee to face the front. And a cat-cow here. All right, and then come to face the front. We'll take a sun salute here. Sitting forward in the chair, you might keep your sliders handy. Exhale. Inhale. Arms up, a tiny back bend. Exhale, a rounded spine or a forward fold as deep as you like. And then come on back up, and we're going to bring one leg into a lunge. With the hands behind the knee, lifting the leg and stretching that leg out. And then both legs forward. You can flex the feet if you like. And if comfortable, reach the arms up. And then arms down, take a little back bend here. And then bring the spine to neutral. Press into the chair seat and give a little arm strength workout there. Like you're going to lift yourself up out of the chair. And then bring the knees in. Take the other knee into a lunge. Other leg into a lunge. And then a forward fold. You can come elbows to thighs or all the way over. And then inhale all the way up. And arms down. I'll repeat that sun salute. Inhale right back up. Exhaling, over you go. Any kind of forward bend you like. Come on up and prepare for the lunge. Keep the bottom tips of your shoulder blades together. And downward dog is both legs out and arms up. And a back bend here. The knees can be bent or straight. Take a back bend. And to neutral. And a little arm strengthening downward dog as to push into the chair, legs straight or bent. And if your legs were straight, go ahead and bend them now. With a lunge. And then a forward fold of any sort. All the way up, arms up. And back down to center. All right, we're going to stand up and use the chair. So let's see how that works. Let's put that up a little. Okay. All right, so we're going to, I'm just going to remove that link. We're going to stand to the side of the chair. I think this will work. And the idea is to bring the one foot up on top of the chair, like so. And if that feels too high, you can use a block, your block instead of the chair, and just use your chair to hold on to. So something like this. I'm going to put my foot up on the chair. And so first we're going to swing the leg out. And I'm just turning on the side of my foot and back in. So this is working those hip rotators again. Exhale the knee up, inhale the leg out. All right, and we'll put that foot down. You can walk around and do the other hand to the other side and knee to the other side if you like, and or turn your chair in some way. Or I'm gonna just go to the very front of my chair, and that gives me enough room. When I slide my knee out, my knee actually clears my chair. You know, all chairs are not alike, so you may need to adjust for you. And so you could walk around there and do, your knee will clear the chair as it'll be coming in front. Hopefully that makes sense. All right. The next one, I'm gonna step here is to come to the inside of the leg in a forward fold. So I'm going to fold forward and I'm aiming my torso down inside the leg. And you can bring both hands toward the chair seat. The other hand can stay on the chair back if you like. I show this in a couple different angles so you can see. So let's turn my chair. You guys don't turn yours. I'm just trying to turn it in a different way. So it was something like this. And coming forward toward aiming the torso toward the inside of the chair. And this hand can leave the chair back and come to the chair seat as your pose deepens. All right. And again, you can do both legs on, without moving. I can, but your chair apparatus, chair length and all that may not work. So I'm coming toward the inside of my thigh, my up thigh, and folding forward. All right. Something like that. Okay. A couple of times on each side, and then we'll go back to the first side. This next one, like I wouldn't be able to do this side. I need to drop that knee out and the chair seat is in the way. So I would need to walk around, or what I'm going to do is just flip my chair around. So you one way or the other. And so you want the knee to be able to go out to the outside and your leg here. I'm going to walk my foot toward the back of the chair where your hips are and drop the knee out. And then we're going to fold forward just a little bit. So the folding forward is coming from the hip hinge, not trying to round at the waist. All right. So these are sort of pigeon pose options or variations. The bottom knee, if it needs to bend, that's absolutely fine. Right, and then the other side, again, I'm just going to spin my chair around. The leg needs to be furthest from the back of the chair and your foot closest toward the front where your knees are. Inhale, the leg goes out, exhale back in, and repeat. I'm just doing that a couple times to warm that hip up, and then add the forward fold on an exhale. So inhale, the knee goes out, exhale, folding forward, inhale back up, exhale the knee in. A couple of those. Inhale, exhale, fold, inhaling up, exhale in. Bottom leg can bend anytime it needs to. All right, let's just do one more. Until your sides feel even. I may have lost track of how many we were doing. And then we're going to fold forward to the chair. You can be on the back side of your chair, folding to the chair back, or to the chair seat, which I'm going to do. And you can be to any of the front three sides. So let's take the arms up. Any range of motion that works for you, and exhale, folding at that hip hinge again. Come forward, knees bend whenever they like. I'm just gonna show this from the side. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, folding forward, bending from that hip hinge, and the knees can bend whenever they say uncle. Inhale up, exhale, folding from the hip crease. So you want to deepen the fold at the hip crease, not the waistline. Let's do one more. All right, and then we'll face forward again, sitting in the chair. Like blanket. All right, let's start our countering process. Well, we already started it. And I tend to sort of counter as I go, so just that screen down. All right, let's do the legs, counter the legs by taking one or both out. And if you're doing one at a time, just alternate side to side. Otherwise, we'll do both out and you can point or flex. Inhale when the legs go out, exhale when they come back in. Dynamically moving. All right, I probably should have been keeping track of that was an even or number or not. So if you were doing alternating your legs, even it up. And we'll do some spinal movement here. So we're going to inhale the arms, any range of motion that's comfortable for your arms, and fold forward or elbows to thighs, or a cat type movement. Inhale up, exhaling over. All right, last time over. And back up, and then exhale just the arms down. Keep your body upright. All right. Next, we'll take our cat-cow with the spine, and we're going to do heel up and down. So the heels are going to come up when you're in the rounded spine position and your hands to the knees. And then when you put your heels down, slide your hands back towards your hips as you do a little baby back bend. Exhaling, heels up, round the spine. Inhale, heels down, a little back bend. Keep going. Exhale, rounded spine. Inhale, little back bend. Exhaling. All right, and then just pausing at neutral. We're going to take heels up and heels down, and then the balls of the feet up and down. So sort of a kind of a pointing and flexing, but just keeping your feet in place. Let me just show that from the side. Heels up, toes are down, heels down, toes up. All right, back and forth. A couple more times each direction, each side, and then just let those feet rest. We'll come up to the arms and shoulders. So we're going to drop one arm down and just shake it loose. And circles. And then back and forth. on the side of the chair. And then we're going to put some breath work to this. So when you bring your arm forward, that's going to be your inhale. Exhale the arm back. Inhale, not back, just back to down. Inhale up, exhale down. All right, and then the other side. Arm loose, circles. And forward and back. And then just forward and down with breath. Inhale the arm up, exhale down. All right, and then relax to neutral. I'm going to take the fingertips to the shoulders. Inhale the arms up, elbows up. Exhale, roll them back and down. Again, inhale the arms up, elbows up. Exhale, back and down. All right, and then just let the hands rest in your lap, palms up. And on the exhale, bend the elbows, fingertips to the shoulders. Inhale back out. Exhale, look down as you bend the elbows. Inhale, look up or forward. Exhale, a little rounded spine. Inhale, looking forward. All right, we're going to bring the palms toward the eyes. When you round the spine, I'm going to show this from the side. When you round the spine, cup your palms over your eyes. That's your exhale movement. Inhale, release slightly and bring the spine more upright. It doesn't have to go all the way upright and certainly not in the back bend. So exhale, rounded spine. Inhale, just release a little bit so the palms cup the eyes on the exhale, and even just the fingers, and you could spread the fingers a little if you like to stay in contact with the eyes. So exhale, inhale, just a gentle release. If comfortable, the next time we exhale and you palm the eyes, if you'd like to stay there, stay. Otherwise, keep moving dynamically. See if you can block out all the light. When you block out all the light, it really lets your eye muscles rest. And then slowly release again, fingers spreading, letting your nervous system stay calm and not be jarred. And then you can rest back in the chair back. We're going to do finger slides. So bring your index finger and thumb together. You can do this just on one side if you like. I'll do it on one side. Slide the thumb down the index finger. That's your inhale. Exhale, go back to the tip and give a flick. Next finger, middle finger, thumb slides down. Exhaling back to the tip and flick. Ring finger, inhale, slide. Exhale back to the tip and flick. And the last finger. And we'll do that same thing over on the other side, starting with the index finger. Inhale, slide. Exhale and flick. Middle finger. And again. Pinky. And we'll go through that with both hands working simultaneously. So start thumb to the index fingers. Inhale, slide down. Exhale back to the tip and flick. And let's see, bonus if you get that circular breath going again. Let's see, we're to the middle fingers now. Exhale up the front body and flick. Inhale down the back. Exhaling up the front. Pinkies. And then just letting your hands rest in your lap. Spine upright. Eyes can be open or closed. Relax the jaw, the tongue. Soften all around your eyes and imagine you can only smile from your eyes. It's hard to do. Relax your eye muscles. And then don't worry about the eyes. Come to the mouth and imagine your smile starts from the palate inside your mouth. Start to feel like you could widen the palate. And then let that go into a deeper smile, all the way into the eyes. It's good if you get a yawn in there, that shows the vagus nerve got stimulated. And then soften it to what we call that inner smile, or some people call it the Mona Lisa smile. But like hardly anybody can tell you're smiling, but it has this, it starts from the center of your palate, like almost like you're trying to say E or widening the palate. But it creates a softness in the facial muscles. And then you can start to sort of tease the body into waking up by doing some minor movement. Maybe your fingers wake up a little bit, wrists, and more of the arms and elbows and spine as you like. Maybe a cat-cow or so. And then when you're ready, if your eyes are already open, open your eyes. And I thank you. Namaste. And thanks to you, Call This Yoga, for making these classes happen for us. Thanks, everybody. Bye.
Thank you, JJ. I will not see you Wednesday because I'll be out of town.
Oh, okay. Hope you're
Okay,
going somewhere
I'll do it
exciting.
later. I'll do it later.
Okay, all right.
It's the last class, and I'm sorry to miss it.
That's okay. Yep, that's right. That's our last one in that
Yeah.
session. We go through the end of June in this one.
Yes.
Thanks, JJ.
All right.
I'll be there
Christy.
Wednesday.
Okay, see you Wednesday.
Bye-bye.
Bye.